Hey guys, it's welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In today's video, I want to talk about how you can properly utilize your scav as a new player. So we're going to go over some little guidelines to use, I would say, as a new player to hopefully get the most out of each scav raid you go into. Ideally, we want to go into a scav raid with a goal, and we're going to go over those little concepts here in just a minute. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so like we were saying, I believe it's best every time you go into your scav raid to have a purpose for why you're doing your scav raid. Whether that's to learn the map, make money, or find gear that's been laying around, or to improve your PvP skills, or to, hunt for quest items such as like cigarettes, gas analyzers, all those little items that are sometimes easier to find as your scav. Starting with learning the map, it is best to, not necessarily best, but using your scav, you can do these things essentially risk-free, as the gear you're bringing in is not really your gear. It is gear that's essentially, not yours unless you get out anyway, so you don't have to worry about the stress of being like, oh, I brought this, I paid so much money for it, I don't want to lose it, everything's scary. There's a lot less anxiety when being on your scav. So you can kind of just wander around the map and kind of like, look at things, make mental notes of these things, get a visual understanding. When you're trying to learn the maps as your scav, things I would note to do are kind of listen for gunfights and try to get a generalized area of where they are and notice the timers of when they are. Because while not necessarily any two raids will ever play out the same, there are still some type of map flows to these maps depending on the times we are in the wipe. Early wipe, a lot of people are in certain areas, where later light, people are just playing for gear, or, even some people just have no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. They're unpredictable. But you can kind of get a generalized idea of where people will be and when, depending on, what you're where you're hearing fighting stuff. If it's near extracts, if it's near high population areas. And if you're a really new player who's not confident in your PvP skills and you're just trying to use your scav to learn the maps, I would suggest avoiding these high popular areas, as, dying isn't going to be as beneficial to you as staying alive and getting to see more. However, if you do find yourself being killed while you're trying to learn these maps and or doing anything, you can still use your def to kind of help you improve and learn some things again. If you keep an eye on the timer and where you're at, and how often you die in these areas, you can kind of piece together where is the high traffic areas and where isn't. That way you know where you want to be and where you don't want to be, depending on what your plan is. And if you are trying to avoid high popular areas, obviously, if you died at the dorms 30 times in 30 raids, you can kind of assume that there's always going to be somebody there. Where if you find yourself, let's say, in these construction buildings like I'm at right now, and you never seem to die here, and you're just trying to make money, that these are probably a pretty safe place you can come in, safely loot through, and not have to worry about getting rushed majority of the time. But that's the good news to the scav is, again, if you die 30 times, you're not really losing anything, and you can always gain some kind of knowledge or new info to help you going forward. If your goal is to make money while playing as your scav, you have a similar thing to learning the maps, but by this point, hopefully either A, you have a better understanding of some of the maps and, a better chance of surviving, or B, or getting lucky and finding yourself not dying as much as the average player. But with that being said, keep yourself away from PvP and high traffic areas, especially early in the raids. As the raids get late, most PMCs are dead and or extracted by then, and those are going to be your biggest threats. As player scavs are still possible and still a threat to you, they're less likely to be a problem later in the raids. So if you're looking money, keep yourself low, keep yourself on the edge of the map in buildings, just slowly moving around. Don't be quick, don't go near any gunfire unless you're not that new and you're very confident in your PvP skills and you want a PvP as well, looting to make money, then go ahead and go to those shots. But that gives you the potential to, if you get those kills, to grab extra loot. But if you're broke and you're trying to improve just your money, stay on the outside of the map. Use your defs to know where to avoid from high traffic areas. And look for stashes around the outside of the maps, depending on what map you're on. There's a lot of maps with stashes, such as Customs and Shoreline. And there's a lot of valuable loot spots that don't often get hit by PMCs, which we'll make a whole nother video on that, as good places to loot on each map. If you're coming into your scav raid with the idea that you want to improve your PvP, this is, a very good way to do it, as it comes with a low risk, high reward kind of scenario, as when you're spawning through in the scav, you don't have much to lose anyways, and every PMC that you're going to fight has, well, not every, but any geared PMCs you might run into have all of their stuff to lose by fighting you and nothing to gain by killing you, really. So this is a great way to kind of get comfortable and get over the whole gear fear and anxiety, as I believe you can really learn a lot from your defs, as a new player, as an experienced player, kind of do's and don'ts, things you did wrong, things you may not have done wrong, positioning wise. And practicing as a scav allows you to do it with no risk of losing your own gear. So going in and kind of just spawning in, ignoring the outside of the map, getting into the middle as fast as possible, listening for, any gunfights you can come up behind in third party is a great opportunity to use, not only to get some PvP experience, but to get kind of some PvP knowledge, and to help you even gain loot and money. Because if you kill everybody and get all the loot, you'll make money. Now, if you are using your scav to also, again, make money, or looking for certain quest items, I would definitely suggest being quick and efficient at this point. If you are comfortable with taking your PvP fights, then push to areas where you expect your quest items to be and look for them, and fight through anybody you have to try to get to those. And another thing, if you find something that's valuable that you really want to get out with, or you find the quest item you went into that raid looking for, leave that raid then. You came in with a goal of finding a quest item or making money, whichever one it was. And once you've done those things, don't get greedy. That's how you'll find yourself dying a lot too. Greed has got me killed more than I'll ever be able to count. If you find valuable item and a quest item, or even one or the other, call that a good raid. Even if you have to wait 20 minutes till you can scav again, you're going to be much happier knowing that you have that done, rather than trying to get extra and finding yourself dying. So just to recap here, again, every time you go to scav raid, guys, try to have a plan, an idea, like I said, loot, kill, PvP practice, map knowledge, whatever it is, just make sure you stick to that plan and don't go away from it. If you're trying to learn the map and you hear a bunch of gunfights, or you see a bunch of people off in the distance, just avoid them. If you're trying to make money and you don't need to fight them, avoid them. If you're trying to just fight PvP but you find some decent loot you want to get, just don't worry about the loot, just go fight them anyways. That'll help you overcome anxiety and fear of losing things. So I hope some of you can find some use from this video. I hope I can kind of break some things down clearly to get you guys to understand some things you can do to your scav, and understand that how important it is to stick to your plan and really learn the goal that you're going with. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys liked it, please like and subscribe for more content. And as always, happy raiding.